John Jay, politician, statesman, revolutionary, diplomat, president of the Continental Congress, first Chief Justice of the U.S., leader of the New Federalist Party, governor of New York, leading opponent of slavery. Then you got Jefferson, you got Hamilton, you got Madison. Okay, all big names. But you know, none of you, most of you, I don't even know your name. You're not big names, but you can be a community organizer. There were, you know, out of the 55 delegates that signed the Constitution, there were names like Blount and Broome and Clymer and Dayton and Fitzsimmons. They were merchants. They were land speculators like Gorham, Robert Morris, and Wilson. They were people that were involved in securities on a large scale, like Bedford, and Blair, and King, and Langdon. There were small farmers, scientists, physicians, college presidents. You know, whatever your gig is, you know, bloom where you're planted. You know, an old saying from the 70s. You know, use the gifts that you've got. There were even 3 people that were retired that were part of that 55. So what's the point? All of these people had different talents. They all had different gifts. Every one of you has different gifts to use in organizing something. Again, know your community, know who you're speaking to or talking to, working with, and know what your focus is. Okay? Obviously, you're here today, so you know that 3I thing, which we're going to talk about in the beginning and a little bit. Get interested, get informed, and then get involved. Well, you're all interested. You're giving up a rainy Saturday. You could be home cutting your grass right now or something. You decided to spend it with us. All these people had different talents. The Bible says that we're all made in God's image and likeness, but we are all different because the God that created all this is so much bigger than all of us put together. The purpose of my talk today is basically just to encourage you to use your gifts because you can do things that I can't do and that nobody else can do. I want to give you an example. I call it the rule of the 3 I's. Since about 6 weeks ago now, I got a call from a guy, and his daughter went to high school with my son. And he says, "Hey, Bill," he says, "can you start sending me your email?" He says, "My daughter keeps forwarding it to me," and she said, "I really think you ought to be getting your own." And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great. Give me your email, Russ." And I said, he said, "Yeah, we got a whole group of people out here in Monclova, and we're excited, and we want to do something." And I said, "You know, if you want, once you have an evening, just bring them together, and I'll come out and just tell you about what's been going on." He said, "Oh, that's great." So I went out to his house, and he had, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10 people maybe. And so I kind of gave him a little history of how I got started. And at the end of the evening, one guy raised his hand. He says, "Well, tell us what to do." Maybe you're sitting there saying, "Oh man, he's going to tell us what to do." I can't tell you what to do. Because I don't, I can't tell you what to do. And what came out of that was the rule of the 3 I's. I said, get informed and get involved. I told him that. And then driving home, I thought, no, there's got to be 3, because 2 is not balanced enough. So I said, get interested, of course. So get interested, get informed, get involved. You know what they did? They started a billboard campaign. And if you drive out Airport Highway, in fact, there's a prototype of it as you walk out of here, going down the stairs. He gave me a prototype. It's about this big. And it's a billboard they've got up on Airport Highway. And they went around to their neighbors they knew, and they collected money. And you put a billboard up for about $600 for a month. Okay, it's not that much. And I'm embarrassed because about 2 months before that, somebody called me, a friend of mine, and she says, "Hey, I want you to meet this gal. She's all excited. She's been reading your newsletter and blah, blah, blah." And so I said, "Okay, we'll go out to dinner." So 6 of us went out to dinner, and she's like, "I got this great idea. I think we ought to do billboards." I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world. I really did. I didn't tell her that, but I just thought, I just don't want to get involved. I was involved in the billboard thing years ago, so I just didn't have time for it. I didn't do it. And I probably discouraged her, which I feel bad about now. because these guys did it. They got involved, they got interested, they got informed, they got involved, and they went out and collected the money, and they did it. And I mean, and now, a gal from Perrysburg, I heard Kathy, she called me, she said, I think we ought to do a billboard. She didn't know about the group from Monclova. So they've got, you know, she's doing stuff. And it's kind of funny because I said, okay, great. I said, and she said, I don't know what to put on it. So I sent her I collect quotes. So I had about 20 different quotes. I wrote them down and I sent them to her. And she sent me at the same time 20 quotes that she had. Well, she didn't use any of them. She didn't use hers and she didn't use mine. So, and she said, what do you think? And I said, well, I think we ought to use one of these. I said 2 of mine and 2 of hers. She didn't use any of them. So next time she wanted to do a second billboard, and she said, I got some more money now. I collected some more money. I want to do a second billboard. What do you think we ought to do? And I said, well, I think we ought to do this. You know, she didn't use it. So the third time, I said, why are you asking me what you think, what I think? I said, you're not going to do it anyway. I said, you're an art teacher. You get your own gig. Just go ahead and do it. You know, I don't have to help her. She knows what she's doing. So here's my history, just a little bit of where I got started. I still remember the night that I went to bed, really believing that President Clinton was not going to get a second term. Because everybody in my sphere that I talked to, none of them were going to vote for him. And I woke up the next morning and found out I was so depressed. I was just depressed. And I went out and took the flag on my house, took it off, put it on upside down, and flew it upside down. And within a week, I had this little old lady came in my office. She said, she goes by my house because she lived by there. She says, I know what you're saying. You know, she got it. You know, I'm sure people went by and thought that idiot's flying his flag upside down. But that was my first step into community organizing and community protesting. April 15th, a year ago, I heard that a patient of mine was going to do a tea party in Perrysburg. And I called her, I said, hey, you need any help? And she said, well, I don't even know what to do. She said, I'm just so frustrated. She said, and she really thought, you know, she was just going to have her parents and her sister show up for this thing. I mean, I don't know if any of you were there. There was over 200 people there. She didn't have a speaker system. She didn't know. She looked at me and she says, why don't we get them to walk in a circle around that statue? Because people brought signs. You know, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. There were nobody scheduled to speak, and we left there, and we just was so excited, you know. And on the way out, if any of you know Linda Baldwin, she's from Perrysburg, and she said, when are we going to do this again? And I didn't even know she was a conservative. I don't know, what are you looking at me for? So people would start talking, what are we going to do? We need to do something for July 4th. That's the next thing. So we started talking, and I knew, by that time, I knew there was a group at Bowling Green, We by Four. There was the Perrysburg people kind of put it together with this gal leading. And there were people there, Children of Liberty, who have been, you know, Scott has been great leading this thing from day one. There were a bunch of people there, Children of Liberty. And there was a guy from Rochford that was trying to do something on the Constitution. I knew him. And so what happened was, I said, you know, maybe we ought to come together and form a coalition. So we had this meeting in our house. You were there. And that's what started it. You know, that was what started the whole thing. And we ended up planning the July 4th thing. Well, we went back to the same park in Perrysburg. We had about 400 people there for that. And it didn't rain like today, which helped. It was just a beautiful day.